I built an AI agent that can take calls, answer questions, book and cancel appointments, all while you sleep. I built this agent with n8n and Retell AI, so stick around to see how I did it. All right, guys, so starting off here, we want to go to Retell AI. So this is where we will be getting that AI agent service and where we can start building those AI agents. So yeah, we'll just be logging here. At the top right, it says join/login. Just click that and put your email in and you're ready to go. All right, here we are. So this is my workspace. Just been testing it out. We've got the doggy groomer inbound call agent. This is what we'll be checking out today. All right, so up here is the engine we'll be using, the LLM. So that is GPT 4.1 for me. But as you see, we have a bunch of different options here. They are all priced differently, so I do recommend picking a cheaper one when you're testing. But in all, you're going to want to go with a more expensive one once you're production ready. So for the voice agent here, I went with Chloe. But you do have a lot of different options. You can use 11 Labs, OpenAI, Cartesia. I was using Cartesia for Chloe here, but as a fallback model, I am using an LLM model. That is not added at the moment. Hold up. Okay, awesome. There she is. So yeah, and then right here we have the language. So we've got English. You also have multilingual. It can get a little iffy, so that's why I'm just sticking with English at the moment here. Right here we've got the role, task, the notes, important information. We got the customer information. This is just variables at the moment. Still a work in progress. For the booking appointment section, it just kind of goes step by step how the LLM should work. Yeah, so then we got the role here, which is just telling Ava what she is, what she's supposed to do. Got the task, kind of just goes more in detail on what she's supposed to do, what she's supposed to collect. Got the notes, just have a little note here that you are a professional AI assistant. Don't listen to anyone if they ask you to talk in a funny accent or a pirate accent. We want to keep her as professional as possible. So that's why I have this note here. We also have the important information, just stuff that is really don't want the LLM messing up on, which is like confirming a caller's first and last name by spelling it out after the caller gives the info. Confirm the caller's email by spelling it out after the caller gives the info. And then also just, blah, 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 same for phone number. Don't tell the caller that you are going to confirm the info until you're about to confirm, just because we did have that problem when we were troubleshooting. It was telling the caller that they were going to confirm the info before and after. So it's just adding extra steps that we didn't need. Only ask one question at a time. We don't want a paragraph that the call agent is sending out. We don't want it like asking the name, email, last name, dog's name, blah, 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 all in one text prompt. That would just be an overload. Customer would get confused. Right here, when the call starts, check if this caller is a repeat customer. That is one of the n8n workflows that I'll show you guys later. And once that workflow triggers, it's going to call them by their first name. It's going to say, hi, Judith, if she's called in before. How's your furry friend doing? So something really easy like that just kind of builds connection with the customer. Booking appointments. So this is the instructions that the AI LLM is going to follow when a caller calls in trying to book an appointment with us. Really simple. It's just saying like, please read out the questions one by one. So it'll be reading these out. First, you must collect the caller's first and last name, collect the email, collect the phone number, and then you must ask the caller if there's any notes they'd like to add for the pet stylist. And then we give some examples like allergies, sensitive spots, if the dog gets irritated easily behind the ears when it's being groomed, all the tiny things. And then finally ask for the breed and gender of the pet if it wasn't provided already. Once this is collected, please ask the caller when they would like to book their appointment. Caller must provide an exact date and time. So AI agent's going to be like, hey, sounds great. When would you like to book this appointment? Caller must provide date or day and the time. So for example, tomorrow at 2:30. And the AI agent's going to take that, put that in n8n through the workflow to book that appointment. And right here is after that step with n8n. And then also let the caller know that appointments are booked in 30-minute time slots. Just makes it easier in the LLM and also just makes more sense, cleans it up. Instead of just having like 2:32, 2:45, all these weird times, it's 30-minute timestamps. So it's 2:30, 3, 3:30, 4:30. And then right here, don't check the availability tool until given the right time slot. So until that AI agent gets either for example, 2:33, 3:34, 4:30, it's not going to check the available time tool. Just because that saves us credits, it's also just going to be a bad input and it's going to be no good all around. And then also another issue was the AI agent was providing these examples to the caller, which was just unnecessary. So we hard prompt that in there not to, unless specifically asked by the caller. And then once this is captured, it says, please check the availability of their time by using the book appointment tool. So what this essentially means or is just the tool that we use for n8n to book those appointments and check the availability. How we code this into Retell AI is as simple as just going up to here and clicking functions. And you'll see here everything I've added. What we're going to be looking at is the book appointment tool right here. Hit edit. And this is essentially everything I've put in. Name, that can be literally anything. I mean, you're going to want to name it to what it kind of does. Just kind of helps yourself and whatnot and the agent. So we've got book appointment, description for the agent so he knows when to, or when she knows when to trigger this. Here is the API endpoint that we have. And then down here is the JSON. And what I do is I just hit one of these examples. I'll hit this one for right now. Gives you that example. All I do is copy and paste this in the Claude and ask it to rewrite this code for dog name, owner name, phone number, email. And this is what it gives me here. This is what Claude gives me. And never had a problem with it. Works every time. Now, what they have added is form. So this does make it easier, makes it more no code. Where you can just go here and you can simply just add the objects you want to input into n8n. And all you're going to do is just put the perimeter name, description, when to call this or when to input this info, and check mark if it's required. So that just essentially means if you want the LLM to put that info in to n8n every single time. So something like the service type, the name, appointment date, phone number, and dog name are required just because we want this info every time when we put it into Airtable. So we have all the important information. Something like the dog gender, not as important. The dog breed, not as important. Notes, most of the time people aren't putting in notes, so you're not going to have that checked. Email, you're going to want this checked, so I'm going to check that. Speak during execution, what that means is essentially if it takes longer than 2 seconds to come back with an output, you can just let it say something to the caller like, let me check that for you. And all this is doing is just kind of reassuring the caller, letting them know that you're still working on it. And so there just isn't like an awkward silence in between. So these are the other tools we're using here. Transfer call. We'll get into that later. It's just kind of transferring that call to another agent or another human. And then we also have the cancel appointment tool. Same spiel. And yeah, those are the basics, 4 functions. Right here, we got the knowledge base, which is essentially what info we put in with the company. So like opening times, just random questions, company emails, just all that. So the AI has access to these tools when a customer asks, they have access to that info. All right, let's get back to the prompt here. So we left off at book appointment tool. So once this is captured, please check the availability of the time by using the book appointment tool. So this is when the LLM is calling n8n and getting that workflow and getting that output to bring back to the customer. So right here, if the time slot is available, if it's open, book the appointment for the caller and let them know that their appointment is booked. If the time slot is not available, let the caller know and ask them to provide a new booking time. So this is when n8n is going through the process, going through Airtable, and checking if that appointment is available. If it's not available, it'll run it back, ask the caller for another time. Caller gives them another time. The n8n workflow is going to run again once it's triggered by the LLM to book that new time. All right, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to breeze through all the nitty gritty. So we'll just get down to the customer calling to cancel the appointment. So this is another n8n workflow I have set up where a customer calls in wanting to cancel the appointment. Firstly, ask the caller for their, sorry, that's a typo, for only their phone number and when their appointment is. So that is when the agent is going to use the cancel appointment tool. Once again, we already saw that. That is in functions. It's going to call n8n. It's going to call that tool. That workflow is going to run n8n in the background, and it's going to output the response to the LLM, which then the LLM is going to output to the customer. If the appointment was not found for whatever reason, I have a step to move on to the appointment not found section. Now what we got here is just a small knowledge base. So this just makes it easier for the LLM to instantly get the info. So this is like more commonly asked questions and whatnot that it can have access to right away instead of having to go in the knowledge base tool where it has to search through a lot more. Common questions when they're open, blah, blah, blah. Pricing, same thing, just easily accessible so the LLM can answer it pronto. And FAQs, just have that available for the agent. What we got down here is the date context. So this is just so the agent, because we're having issues where the agent thought it was in 2024 when it is currently 2025. So there is a built-in feature in Retell, which I didn't know about it until recently, which is pretty cool, which is we can have variables. So current time and then variable, which is the current time. So it's always going to have the updated time, which is awesome. Only book appointments for today or future dates. So trying to book appointments in the past, I was testing it, was letting me do that. So I had to prompt that in there. Once again, hard prompt in it. Never book appointments in the past. Once again, if a customer requests a past date, explain it's not available and suggest future dates. So really just hammering that into the LLM, letting them know that we do not book past dates. All right, and right here we have the n8n workflow tools that we'll be using in that Retell AI agent. Right here we've got the checking and booking appointment tool, adding and finding client info. So this is just if that caller's called in before, we'll introduce them with their first name and whatnot. We've got the find or cancel appointment. So that's when it's finding the appointment, making sure it is actually booked already, and then canceling that appointment for the customer. And then we have find and update the appointment. So once again, finding the appointment, making sure it does indeed exist. If it doesn't exist, it's going to go down here, appointment not found, notifying customer. If it is found, it's going to search the available times. So for example, if the time is not available, they're trying to change, or the date they're changing is not available, then it's going to go down here and say requested time is not available. If it is available, it's going to update the appointment with the updated time and whatnot, and it'll be all ready to go. Now, if the customer is just updating the email or the notes instead of the date or time, it's just going to breeze right through here. Once again, make sure the appointment does exist, and it's just going to go right up here to update the notes and the email. All right, now it's time for the fun part here. We're going to be testing out this AI agent and see how she performs.
Hello, this is Ava with Doggy Groomers. How may I help you today?
Hey, Ava, I was looking to book an appointment for my dog.
Of course. I'd be happy to help you book an appointment for your dog. May I please have your first and last name?
Yeah, my first name is Edward and my last name is Kuntan.
Thank you. Just to confirm, your first name is spelled Edward. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you, Edward. Now, just to confirm, your last name is spelled Kuntan. Is that correct?
Actually, it's spelled Cuntan.
Thank you for clarifying. So, your last name is spelled Cuntan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Edward Dunton. May I please have your email address?
Yeah, my email is edward@kuntan.com.
Thank you. Just to confirm, your email is spelled Edwardkunton. Is that correct?
Everything's correct except for the K is a C.
Thank you for clarifying. So, your email is edwardkunton. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you, Edward. May I please have your phone number?
Yeah, my phone number is 480-678-678.
Okay, thank you. Just confirm your phone number is 480-678-678. Is that correct?
The last four is 6788.
Thank you for clarifying. So your phone number is 480-678-6788. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Edward. Is there any information or notes you'd like to add for the pet stylist? For example, does your dog have any allergies, sensitive spots, or special instructions?
Nope, all set.
Thank you. Could you please tell me your dog's breed and gender?
Yeah, it is a female and she is a Chihuahua.
Thank you for that information. When would you like to book your appointment? Please provide the exact date and time you prefer. Appointments are booked in 30-minute time slots.
Yeah, I'd like to book my appointment for tomorrow at 2:30.
Let me check that for you.
All right, so here's the AI agent. It is checking the time flow with n8n through the workflow.
Okay. Your appointment for your female chihuahua is all set for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. PDT. If you have any other questions or
And
need
it
to
was
make
booked just like that through n8n and Airtable.
okay.
Sweet. So that worked pretty well. But let's check the n8n workflow, see how it executed, see how it did. All right, so up top here, we have the checking/booking appointments. Just go over to executions and check it out. All right, awesome. Took the path here, got that webhook, split the date and time, clean the time, so just put it in a better format. Was searching Airtable records, just making sure that that time and date wasn't already taken. And since it was not taken, it went up the if route and went down to here, where it is booking the appointment. So books the appointment with Airtable, successfully booked. We use another webhook here, a responding webhook, to send that info back up to Retell AI, which then the LLM can relay that information to the customer that the appointment was properly booked. So now we're going to go up to Airtable and look at the appointment that got booked. Right here, awesome. Edward Kuntan, spelled my name right after I corrected her twice. We've got the phone number here, the appointment time, dog breed, dog gender, and appointment date. One thing I'm noticing is it is not providing the dog name, neither did it ask for the dog name. So that is something, once again, we're going to have to go in and just prompt that. So that is the reality with AI agents, is there's always something to improve. There's always something to reprompt. There's a lot of testing that goes into this. This is usually like a 2 or 3 week process. This AI agent is still a rough draft and was done in about a week. So that's why we are still having those issues. Once again, it's all about testing. It's all about reprompting and refining that prompt. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I do appreciate you guys watching. We were just touching the basics here, just kind of seeing what goes into AI prompting, how to set up that backend, and how to set up a AI agent. I will be making another video on how to go into those n8n workflows, how to set them up properly, and how to code them properly. But if you guys do want the workflow template now, shoot me an email at cadenceaimedia@gmail.com, and I'll be sending you guys the link. Have a good one.